Overeating at night is one of the primary reasons for why people suck at diet programs. They graze in and out of the kitchen all night. But the reason that you are doing it is not what you think. Hi, my name is Phil. I'm with Silver Fern Brand. So here are the acknowledgments up front. I also struggle with this issue. I struggle with the same issue that you do, okay? So there's my first acknowledgement. My second acknowledgement. Even if I was ridiculously fit and skinny, like we're talking lean, baby, I'm still 6'3", and I'm still going to be roughly 245 pounds, and so when I'm sitting, I'm going to still be square. So the point being is that even if I was ridiculously fit, I'm still going to be a big guy. I can't overcome that, okay? And the reason I'm giving these acknowledgments up front is because inevitably somebody that typically it's a man between 150 and 200 pounds that does a lot of selfies in his thread or does pictures in front of his truck is going to make a comment. So in behalf of all of us people that struggle with weight, we acknowledge that you're amazing. Good job. Way to go. We're super impressed, but maybe this video is just simply not for you. Okay? There you go. All right. For everybody else, the reason that you overeat at night is not what you think, and just having self-control is not the answer. I know a lot of people on social media are like, if you just had self-control, you'd stop eating. And that's sort of bullshit, to be honest. Okay, so here are the reasons. One, as a person goes throughout the day and their day is just busy and hectic, whether you're chasing kids, running a business, working for somebody, your schedule's hectic, throughout the day as your body wears down, your serotonin and dopamine levels drop. Serotonin and dopamine are your happy hormones. So imagine your happy hormones have dropped off by the end of the night. Do you know what spikes those? High-calorie, high-sugary foods immediately spike dopamine and serotonin. You may not know this, but your body absolutely is aware of this. And your body most likely has created a habit of, by the end of the day, when you don't feel super charged up and happy and you're a little bit low, maybe, not like depressed, just low. Your body knows that if it can get some high-calorie, high-sugary foods, unhealthy stuff into it, and it is unhealthy foods, by the way, it can spike the serotonin and dopamine levels, and you will get an immediate happy factor, okay? So there's the first problem. The second problem has to do with serotonin, or has to do with cortisol levels. So the second problem has to do with cortisol. So there are three reasons that cortisol at night is bad. The first reason, when you have stress that elevates cortisol, elevated cortisol goes long, it runs for hours, and an increase in cortisol causes hunger, typically for high-calorie foods. And obviously the answer to people that are trying to lose weight is they want to be in a calorie deficit. So high-calorie foods that are unhealthy are not your friend, right? So high cortisol levels is going to screw that. Next, high cortisol levels is going to increase your blood glucose levels. It's going to spike insulin. It's going to cause a crash. And the way to overcome that crash, which you may not know, but your body knows, is to eat high-calorie foods. It's to overeat, okay? Number three, when you have your cortisol levels go high, it's going to screw your melatonin and sleep quality. Okay, so your melatonin levels and sleep quality gets all screwed up. That affects your hunger hormones, which is ghrelin and leptin. So ghrelin and leptin levels get messed up, and that affects your appetite as well, right? So these are the challenges you're actually facing. It's not just a willpower thing. I mean, there are people that are just, screw it, I'm going to have the donuts at night, and that's true. But for most people, that's not the issue. All right, so stress complex is what we suggest. Stress complex has, the hero ingredient is called Safr'Inside. It is at the clinical dose, so clinically studied ingredient at the clinical dose. This is different than magnesium, glycinate, Magtine, which I love. I take those too, by the way. I really like those. But it works different. It's different than 5-HTP. It's different than L-theanine. This has L-theanine in it, but this works completely different than L-theanine. It's going to be different than chamomile. It's going to be different than Rhodiola rosea and all those. And I'm not saying those are bad. I'm just saying if you want to address why you're overeating at night, you have to do primarily two things. One, you need to address neurotransmitter balance. So you need to restore serotonin and dopamine levels in a healthy way that breaks that loop. You got to stop that loop, that constant loop-de-loop if you don't feel good and you go to overeat. When your serotonin and dopamine levels are at healthy, normal levels without overeating, it breaks that cycle, okay? There's the first thing. Number two, the Safr'Inside has been clinically studied and shown to reduce cortisol levels by up to 44% in individuals with elevated cortisol. That being said, inevitably somebody's going to go, but I have low cortisol. Let me respond to that. What it's actually doing is restoring healthy cortisol balance, okay? So it's only reducing cortisol levels in individuals that have elevated cortisol problems. That's what it's doing. Next, the research, so here are some bonuses. It significantly helps reduce oxidative stress, which oxidative stress believe it or not, is a cause for weight gain, and it's helping with the nervous system. So nervous system dysfunction isn't just a mood-related issue. It's not just a gut. It doesn't just affect the gut and the immune system and everything else. It will affect your metabolism, okay? So it's helping with those things. It has been clinically studied and been shown to help with sleep. True. Believe it or not, as the clinical studies include helping with PMS and menopausal type issues. Obviously it helps with mood and all of that. So it's an amazing feel-good product. The downside to it is it takes 6 to 8 weeks to slowly build up in the system to work. So that's the downside. Is if you want to feel immediately amazing today, like this morning, you would take like caffeine and L-theanine in a high dose, and you'd feel like really good for like 5 hours, right? But this is something takes time to build up in your system, and that's what you do. So I'm going to tell you now. So Stress Complex alone, amazing for mood, one of our top selling products, works great standalone. Now I'm going to give you some ways to cheat the system a little bit more, because I overeat at night, and maybe you do too, and maybe you just want a little help, and maybe you're willing to try it. Okay, you don't have to. Once again, Stress Complex by itself is amazing. So at night, because I'm an overeater and I too am trying to get my eating under control, here's what I've been finding that works amazing for me, and a lot of our customers are doing it. I'm having a lot of friends do it, and the success rate's pretty high. So Stress Complex, 2 of these at night with 2 motility, and I do not have constipation, people, okay? So motility is helps with a lot of things, from gallbladder, liver health. Obviously, it's going to help with constipation, stomach issues, and all that. But it also significantly reduces cortisol. The digestion reduces cortisol by 42% and increases serotonin levels by 30%. So, and by the way, this also helps with sleep. So when you take these 2 together, it should help you sleep. It helps me sleep. In fact, I ran into this whole thing when I was taking it to help with sleep, and I was like, because I'm up at like 3 or 4 in the morning, and I need to get to bed at night, and I don't want to take melatonin. Not that I have a problem with melatonin, just because I want to try something else. I started taking these 2 together with, in this case, the metabolism. The reason is because this is helping with your blood sugar levels and insulin sensitivity. Once again, though, this is not a quick fix, people. Even though this has like the berberis in it, which is like up to 10 times more effective than standard berberine, extremely tolerable for long-term use, and a whole bunch of other benefits beyond the fact that it just has a ton of clinical research supporting it, and has Axivite, which helps with fat oxidation and stuff. When I pair these with these, and I know it's a lot, you're like, that is a lot to take. Well, I'm personally trying to overcome a bad habit, and I'm trying to get my eating under control, so that's what I'm doing. You do whatever the hell you want to do. This is what I'm doing. That being said, Stress Complex standalone with whatever you're trying to do, I think 1, you'll notice your sleep will improve, 2, your mood will improve, and then 3, if I'm not mistaken, over time, it will help you get your eating under control at night, which is kind of a big deal, okay? And it's doing so, once again, helping neurotransmitter balance, and it's helping with your cortisol levels. I hope this helps you as much as it helps me. And if you don't like this stuff, that's totally fine too, okay? But Stress Complex, great product. Bye.